Yes, Jiaoyang. So in fact, in addition to the 11 confirmed cases, there are also 2 asymptomatic patients here in the city of Chengdu in southwest China as well. So pandemic control measures have been in the city in place since beginning of this year. So that there are usual measures. For example, people are required to wear a mask into like public places like shopping malls or office buildings, and taking metro subways, as well as people may know that China has been using its smart technologies to help with the contact tracing, as well as to keep individual health status in check. So individuals and people here in Chengdu are still required to use their mobile phone to generate a health code, a QR code that includes all their personal health information, to scan it or register with the door person or related authorities before they enter into a office building or shopping centers. But in addition to all these regular control measures, there are also 5 communities in the city are on partial lockdowns, restricting residents in and out of the community, and those communities are those confirmed cases are from. And in addition to this, and the city also rolled out a new measure for drugstores. So the city government required drugstores to have put up visible signs to help guide people to stay at least 1 meter apart from each other, and that is a pretty safe distance recommended by doctors to keep people from contracting the disease, Jiaoyang.
Xinchen, the mass testing campaigns that we see in China is really quite an incredible response to often sometimes just 1 or 2 cases that are reported. How do the local residents there respond to this? What do they think of this?
So for all about the testing, so the local, according to the city government, and they have been doing their contact tracing related to these a dozen of confirmed locally transmitted cases already, and they've been calling people, and if they got close contact with these confirmed cases, and if people who got called by the government or local authorities to have their tests done, and the test is for free. However, the option is also open to the rest of the community and the rest of the city, and for people, if they are willing to have the tests done even without being called by the government, they can also do that. But of course, there is roughly a $20 fee for the testing, and a lot of people are getting more accustomed to the nucleic acid testing. And I've been speaking to some locals, and many are, and for this time around, and many are not really worried about the pandemic. They are not panicking at all, and they think they have strong confidence in the city government to really keep things in control. And speaking of where these wave originated, is the Chengdu County, which is Chengdu District. Used to be a county, belonged to the city, but later in recent years turned into a district, and that means actually it's in suburban of Chengdu and pretty far from the city center. However, 4 out of the 5 communities I said have been limiting their residents in and out of the community are actually in Chengdu District. And in addition to that, there are many universities in the Chengdu District. So many universities decided to really call on their students to have their tests done, because as we know, it's a crowded space, and some universities are also limiting students in and out of the school. And I've been speaking to some students over there still on campus on a partial lockdown, and they told me they are not panicking either. But however, in the foreseeable future, and because we don't know how long these restrictions will be in place, and for them their options for entertainment is of course limited, because they cannot really go out of campus without permissions from the school administration. Yet I also know students who actually quote-unquote escaped from the university before all these restrictions came into effect, and they are now leaving the city. And they told me they are not they are not really so worried about the virus to be spread further, and they've been even wearing like 2 layers of masks and the gloves and goggles, and they've been doing all those procedures to wash their hands and to keep themselves away from the virus. Yet, as I have mentioned, we don't know the restrictions on universities, how long will they last, and for these students who are now leave off campus, we're quite not sure how they can get back to school, and that will put a question mark on how they can keep up with their schoolwork, Jiaoyang.
All right, well, thank you so much, Chengdu.